You listen to BSI, the podcast with Benny Silver, Dowsy and Arco Para. Enjoy!
I yell Zlatan so many times and he doesn't turn because he thinks it's a fan. Keeps my hand there like holding hard and he's like, repeat me back all of the coaches' names right now.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, oh my God, I
Welcome to BSI, the podcast. We are here with episode 20-something. We got Andre Shinyashiki coming up. He's a great player. So I got to play with him last year. He was rookie of the year. I think he's going to be something big.
Yeah, you've talked highly about him. It seems like you guys were pretty close in your short time in Colorado, so should be a fun interview.
Yeah, we'll ask him about what year one was like for him at the Rapids, how he came through the ranks, went to DU. I know he loves Jamie Franks over there at DU. So, and
DU, you're saying it like they own that, like they copyright the DU. I would never know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well,
DU.
that's what happens when you live in Denver, right?
I guess
you live in
so,
Denver and
right.
everybody says DU and you know what they're talking about. But yeah, Jamie Franks, and you told me that you've ran into him as well. You played with him or something?
Yeah, some youth national teams right before college. I played with him, and then obviously we played against each other from his time at Wake. I think they were in the Final Four the same year we were in the Final Four. So
yeah, it's a small world, dude. So we'll talk on that. We'll ask him like why he came from Brazil to the U.S. and kind of what he sees from in terms of this season for himself and for the Rapids. Before we get to that, let's talk a little bit of MLS's back. All I want to say about MLS's back is the three teams that I picked, and we can go back in time and check on this, but three teams I picked were San Jose Earthquakes were my dark horse. We had LAFC and Sporting Kansas City. All three teams still in it in the quarterfinals. I'm feeling pretty good about my picks. I don't know about yours, Sal. I think yours.
Yeah, I can't remember who I picked other than I'm probably pretty sure I picked Red Bull for sure because I'm a homer and I think I picked them. I'm pretty sure I picked LAFC. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I can't remember my third one.
You should have picked. If you went to go homer, you should have picked Portland. They're still in it.
Yeah, I should have. This was the Jimmy Conrad episode where we picked, right?
I honestly can't remember. Yeah, I think that sounds right because we let Jimmy pick some too.
Yeah. So, I will say I was against your San Jose pick, which seems like it's panned out so far. We'll see, and we'll see what happens the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think the tournament started off slow, but it's picked up. There's been some interesting games. There's been some Cinderella stories. There's been some good games, good goals, and all that kind of stuff. So
I love how Adrian Heath pulled the old fantasy football trick where you say to the other team that they're gonna kill us, we got no chance, and then
that's Adrian's like number one ploy every time. He
loves that. Did you see Caleb just call him out on it? It's like Adrian loves to just do this. He's like, but they're like they're undefeated basically, and
I think Caleb does the same thing though. So it's like the kettle and the teapot.
They're just battling to see who's which team is the underdog.
Yeah, they both want to be underdogs. They're both top of the league, 1 and 2 right now. They're both underdogs. Yeah. All right. Anyways, other quick little news. Patreon. We love what you guys have been doing. I know Sal, you and Nino got on a Zoom call this weekend, and like we've been talking about, it's a lot of fun getting to know you guys and continue to rate, continue to comment. Those things are big for our podcast. We want to make sure that we continue to grow this thing, and you guys are all part of it, all you fans. So if you haven't done already, please comment, rate on our podcast. If you love our podcast, become a Patreon, become a subscriber. That'll help us put some money in our pocket and also keep going with with our strategies, right, Sal? So Sal, we're building up the money here. We're getting some ads. Like people think we're so big now, and people are throwing ads all over the place. So we just got to keep that going, that momentum.
Yeah, for sure, and keep a lookout for the new 60 with Sal. So thanks to the Patreon.
Please, we got to change the name. Not 60 with Sal.
Sal and 60. What is it?
It's Sal in 60 seconds.
Okay, Sal and 60. However,
you get to pick. It's however you want.
I think 60 with Sal kind of sounds
60 with Sal
sounds better.
All right, I would have gone with Sal in 60 seconds, but that's just me. Anyways, I think that's I think that's all we got for the intro. Just wanted to touch on some of those things, but let's bring Andre. Welcome to the show, my main man, dude. Rookie of the year, Andre Shinyashiki. Welcome, bro.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate that.
Of course.
We're excited to have you, dude. I've told these guys a lot about you. I think that you can be something pretty special in this league and maybe even elsewhere, but you showed a lot last year. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about your successes and how the team improved and all that kind of stuff. But mostly we're here to get you in trouble. So you know the deal with it. I know you've listened to a few podcasts before with on BSI. So quick hitters to get you warmed up, get you feeling good. And then we'll get into the interview, ask you some questions about your short career so far and kind of find out what you think, you want from the future. And then we'll get into the plead the fifth. And actually today we're debuting what is it called?
60 with Sal.
Sal in 60 seconds.
Sal in 60 seconds.
Did we just come
60 with Sal, something like that?
So Sal's going to also ask you, we haven't even decided where we're going to do this on the show, Sal. So you got to figure that out. But Sal will ask you quick hitting questions. I mean, we already have quick hitters.
It's just going to be like
first thing that comes up in my mind.
Two. I'm going to give you two options. You just choose between two options, basically.
Oh, wow. That's for sure.
We'll do the quick hitters, which is usually slow hitters, and then we'll do the real quick hitters, which will be Sal in 60 seconds. And then we'll get into the interview and then plead the fifth. You're lucky that Ike's not here because he holds grudges, man. Yeah. He tries to get people in trouble. So we'll try and be nice to you, and we'll do the best we can to imitate what Ike can do. But by then you'll be warm, so you'll be good to go. So with all that, you ready to go, dude?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, quick hitters. I'm gonna bring you back to that awesome time that you had in MLS's back in the bubble there. And so there were some pretty big team performances from some teams. I mean, I saw Vancouver yesterday where they were playing with like their second team almost, their fifth goalkeeper, and they almost made it to the quarterfinals. We saw, LAFC is playing pretty well without Carlos Vela. There's some other teams, San Jose, that is doing pretty well. I'm actually watching the game right now. And then there's some teams that didn't play so well, Andre. Some teams that didn't show up for the tournament. So I'm going to give you 4 teams that I think didn't show up for the tournament. You give me the rankings of, in your mind, who was the bigger disappointment here.
Well, I thought Miami, that was like the last part of it. That's not quick hitters at all.
Just the quick hitters, bro. Miami with 0 points and a -3 goal differential. Atlanta with a 0 points and -3 goal differential. And by the way, I think no goal scored, right? Yeah, Atlanta got no goal scored. LA Galaxy with 1 point and -5 goal differential. And yours truly, Colorado, with 1 point and -3 goal differential. So what do you think?
Okay. So fourth is like not as bad. First is like the worst.
Yeah, let's do that. So not as bad first, I guess.
Okay, so fourth is definitely us. I mean, I actually feel like against Kansas City, who is one of the teams that has, the most experience in, how they want to play, and they really have a way of outplaying teams, and, teams really change to adapt to what Kansas City does. And we actually did really well the first half against them. And then obviously, like after the red cards, obviously it got a little bit harder, but like we literally almost tied a team that is one of the best teams in MLS playing 2 men down, essentially.
Right.
And we scored.
I'll give you that you guys outplayed them. I mean, I've been watching, obviously, Kansas. I've been watching all the games, but obviously Kansas City I watch a lot. They played really well the first game and lost, and then they didn't play very well at all the second game and won. So you guys did play well. I mean, Kellen's goal was fantastic. I don't know how you guys scored 2 men down. That's crazy as well. But you did deserve more than what you guys got in that game.
Yeah.
And I think, actually, I also do think that against Minnesota, we were better for a good portion of the game, but you just can't make the mistakes that we make, and this can't happen. And, we were so good in set pieces last year, and we've given up so many set pieces goals already this year.
Really?
And so just like having to clean that up. Yeah, we like, even in the game against Orlando, we gave 1 set piece goal. In the tournament, we gave up 2. So
was it a handball on Jesus' cross?
That was a shot.
Was it a shot?
Zusi took a shot that wasn't going in. He got a penalty, and then Zusi had a shot that wasn't going in, and he got a goal somehow out of it. Like they credit it with him when it was clearly going out. So he did well in just taking shots that game.
They have like all these new rules about handballs and how they work, and it's just, I mean, I do think it has to be like the ref's decision. Yeah. Like the game, it's too unclear for me how you can decide whether or not it's a handball without getting a feel for the game and everything that happens. You can't just take one incident completely out of the rest of the game, which is what I think they're trying to do with handballs. It's just make it super clear. And I like the idea of it, but I feel like it's impossible to do that when there's so many other factors within that game that happen.
Yeah, no, I won't let you get in trouble or get fined by Don Garber. And I'll tell you, I think that was a really rough call for you guys. I mean, if anything, maybe it grazed the bottom side of Diego's arm, but it basically made no difference in the entire action. So it was a very brutal call for you guys, no doubt about it.
Well, Kansas City guys were about to take the corner. Like nobody even did anything. So that's what we kind of know. Okay, but I won't delay too long on that. So that we were fourth.
Okay. So you got Galaxy, Atlanta, and Miami left.
Well, okay. I'll go with. I'm actually gonna go with Miami at third because I do think they have the excuse of they are a new team and it's really hard to literally have players that have never played together. Like all 11 of them have never played together, and I think they missed Pizarro for like the first half of the game, and so that makes it like this like their main guy, and it makes it a little bit harder. And I actually like when I watched them against Orlando, they actually had quite a few chances that they could have put away, and maybe. If they don't lose that game in the last second, things could have been different. But I do think that Miami deserves a little bit of time, I guess, to get settled because when you have teams like Atlanta and LAFC, they come in, they do well so fast. Right. You kind of expect that from other teams, but it's like not an easy thing to do at all.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And then second, I'll go Galaxy. I did think they were pretty poor. Their defending was really, really bad. They just have some guys that I won't name names, but they just don't defend.
This is the show to name names if you want to, bro.
Yeah, but I don't want to. But the thing is like they just don't try.
Yeah, like they didn't look good. They didn't look like they were, on the same page a lot of times. It's
gotta be
except for when they play LAFC, they usually like play their best version of themselves, but. Other than that,
and you kind of saw that for like a little bit in the beginning when they were like going at it. It's like really good, but like I don't know who was the goal that they gave up. That Steres misses a clearance, then the keeper saves it, then he goes to clear again and just let it go.
I think that was Rossi. I think that was at the end of the first half where we tied the game up.
It was just like kind of sums up the game for me. But yeah, they had some good moments at times going forward. It didn't really look like it was because of tactical team decisions more because they have such quality players like Pavon.
Yeah.
And those were the moments I think they look good. And then at first I have to go Atlanta. I mean, they didn't score a single goal the entire tournament. I watched all of their games and
didn't look like the team.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird because, Atlanta is always so aggressive and, they always step on teams' throats. And it was almost like they were playing not to lose. And that like clearly didn't work out for them. And even when they played the Rebels, I was like, okay, maybe it's the Rebels. Like, it's the Rebels high press. It's just working and it's kind of putting them rough. But then when they played Cincinnati, everybody was expecting them to kill Cincinnati. And I actually think Cincinnati deserves to win the game. Like, it wasn't like the very dynamic game or anything, but I do think Cincinnati deserves to win that game. And just not scoring any goals.
Sal played in Atlanta the year that they won it. And so, I mean, that's got to be weird to have played there and you know exactly, how good you guys were and how successful you guys were. And you guys had some different players. I mean, Almiron's not there anymore. Joseph's injured right now, but it's like a completely different team. It doesn't even look like the same style at all. Everything's different.
You lose Nagby, right? You lose Joseph, you lose Miggy, and then you lose Parkey. And these are all guys that are very good on the ball, very good at what they do, and probably are the four most important pieces like that season for us. So you lose those four, and then you bring in a new coach with a different style, and there's going to be some difference in philosophy there. But it's got to be disappointing. Obviously, that they hold themselves to a high standard, so that's why the coach is gone now. I mean,
right.
So we'll see
Yeah.
how
But I
it
do think
happens.
in contrast to that, like you saw how good Nagby is for Columbus.
Yeah.
He's like insane.
Yeah,
He's playing so well.
Yeah, I know Nagby well. Obviously, he played with him for 4 years. But if you ask Ike, Ike is his biggest fan, and he's Nagby's his MLS MVP so far. So
yeah. No, I think Columbus has been good. That's one of the teams I didn't mention that's been really good. But I still think Zelarayan is the guy out there. I mean, Nagby does what he does, but Zelarayan's different level right now.
Yeah, but as Ike would say, he's so good because of Nagby right now.
Yeah, that's true. All right, going back to the slow hitters, as we should change them from quick hitters to slow hitters now that we have Sal in 60 seconds. Yeah. But next question, what felt better? This will be a quicker question. What felt better, to score the game winner against the LA Galaxy to get the first win for Colorado Rapids in 2019, or to almost tackle Zlatan Ibrahimovic to get his jersey after the game?
Okay. By the way, those are two different games.
I know they're different games.
But yes. No, yeah. I mean, scoring that goal was just, dude, you don't, I mean, obviously you do understand what that locker room felt like that year. But, when we scored that goal and, there was 10 minutes left in that game, we were so determined not to let them tie the game. It was I have never seen a team determined that bad. We knew that we needed that win. And I think that moment, it was a turning point for us, a really big turning point. And so that was definitely the most important moment. Getting Zlatan's jerseys, I mean, it was sick. It was just something that, I had to do it. I don't care. I was people were, I mean, you should have seen the locker room with Tim and all those guys. They were making so much fun of me. Oh, you look like a fanboy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I am a fanboy. I grew up watching this guy. I don't care what you say. I have his jersey. You don't. I'm happy.
In 30 years, in 30 years, you'll have something to remember Zlatan by his jersey. But in 30 years, all you'll have is a memory of the goal. I guess you could see the clip.
No, that clip is that should be a gift forever somehow.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't try and swat you away, thinking you were another one of those slipping fans that were going right by him.
But the best part is there's no audio. I yell Zlatan so many times and he doesn't turn because he thinks it's a fan. Right. Yo, Zlatan, can I have your jersey? And he's just probably dude, who the hell is this guy?
It's such a great clip if you guys haven't seen it. It's a slow motion fight scene from a Game of Thrones.
We got to get Nino to post it at some point here. So
yeah,
it was everybody asked me about it and people think I'm gonna be ashamed and be oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this or that. And to be fair, I almost never asked for jerseys in the end of games. But my dad was in Colorado that game and he's if you win, you have to go ask for his jersey. You're gonna regret it so bad if you don't.
Yeah.
And then I was yeah, you're probably right. Because we obviously grew up watching Zlatan together. So it's he knew that how big of a moment that was for me. So.
Right. Well, there you go. Well, you're going to remember it forever. All right, last question. And this comes from a buddy of yours that I don't even know if it's a question. But Graham Smith told us that you do acupuncture on yourself since college. Is this true?
My God.
You dry needle? Is this even legal?
I really hope that the Rapids guys are listening to this right now. Yeah, I do. In high school, my dad knows how to do acupuncture.
Okay.
And so he taught me. It's simple. It's literally you put the needle inside of a little blue thing and you put it.
Don't you got to know the pressure points and the different areas and?
Well. Yeah, but you can just kind of look it up.
Swing it.
Yeah, just kind of see where the pain is, where it's tighter, put it where it's tighter. But I mean, I don't have to do that anymore because obviously now I have people that do it. But in high school, I didn't have it. And so my dad is kind of a crazy guy. And he was just dude, you have to do everything you can to be on the field. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. You got to do it. And so it's I'm going to show you how to do it so then you can do it when you want it to. And so in college and throughout high school, I've done acupuncture myself millions of times. Sometimes they are in my hamstrings, so it gets kind of tricky how to I get to do them. But to be honest, I probably shouldn't do it because there are bad things that can happen from it. So far, nothing bad's happened. Only good things. They've worked out for me. And I did get caught once in high school by a maid. She found a bunch of acupuncture needles in my bed and sent a picture to the coach.
She probably had no idea what it was, huh?
Yeah, she was like, "What? I mean, is this guy
doing
math?
doing drugs?
Like what's going what's going on? Like, why does he have needles? Like heroin? Like what's good with this kid?" And then the coach called a meeting in, and he had a bunch of bad things to say about all of us on the team. Some guys were like hiding food from us, like literally having eggs.
And Andre, you've got needles in your room. What are you doing?
No, this is what he does. He pulls up a picture and he goes, "So Andre Shinyashiki here, guys, thinks he's a doctor." And then everybody's trying not to laugh. And the coach is like so mad. He's like, "Oh, Andre, tell us about this. What do you think you are? Like you're certified? Like what's going on?" And the worst part was when I started doing it to my teammates, because my teammates were like, "Oh, if you're doing it on yourself, I'm kind of hurting. Do it on me too." And then it just became a whole thing. But yeah, that it's a very truthful statement by Graham.
Well, I'm glad that you're still doing all right, and thankfully, you don't have to do that anymore, right? You got people to do it for you.
I got the Rapids guys; they know how to do it. So
good. All right, well, we're done. We're done with the slow hitters. I hope you're warmed up. Sal, should we do yours in the middle of the interview, kind of cut it in half, or should we do it now?
We could do it now and then figure out where we want to place it. We could always do that as well, you know.
No, we'll just place it now, brother. If you're gonna do it, like he's ready.
Do it. Sound 60. Let's go.
All
Ready?
right, sound 60. It's on. Am I timing this? And am I just telling you once 1 minute is over, it's over?
Yeah. Do you wanna time it?
Yeah, sure. I'll time it for you guys. So go ahead. You give him the. I mean, it's the rundown. It's pretty simple though.
Yeah. So literally, I'm gonna ask you, blank or blank, and you just answer. That's it. Just gonna be quick.
See how many we can get.
Yeah, nothing. You want to get as many too hard.
You want to get as many answers as possible.
All right, sounds good.
All right, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Set, go.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Snow or sand?
Sand.
Jeans or sweatpants?
Sweatpants.
Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Text or call?
Text.
Pele or Maradona?
Pele.
Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Real Madrid or Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Burgers or tacos?
Burgers.
Brazil or Japan?
Brazil.
Graham Smith or Courtney Ford?
Courtney Ford.
Reading books or listening to audiobooks?
None.
10 seconds.
Okay. Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro?
Sao Paulo.
Yeah,
window seat or aisle seat?
Window seat.
Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Game over.
Howard or Clinton Irwin?
What was the last one?
Tim Howard or Clinton Irwin?
Oh, I'm glad you didn't get to that one.
So how do you put that one last, dude? Come on.
I skipped ahead. I had like 4 more in front of it. I wanted to squeeze it in at the end. But.
All right. Well done. Sound 60 seconds. We finally found you your own personal segment, Sal. Well done.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I wish I could
let's improve on it. Let's make it better from here on out. But that was a good first one.
I have to I just almost I feel like I can't answer them and not explain myself after, you know.
Yeah, you want to explain it. Yeah.
I can't. It's just the part of the beauty of it.
That's right. No one really knows you. They just know superficially. Yeah. All they know is you're superficial. But not the deep.
Okay. Those are okay. I thought you were gonna throw some hard ones.
No, that's for a plea.
No, those are coming later. Don't worry. All right, here we go. Let's get into your interview. And this is something that I actually haven't spoken to you about, and I'm kind of curious. You're obviously from Brazil, born there, grew up there. How many years of high school did you go here? Did you go all 4?
No, I came to my junior and senior year of high school here.
Okay. And
I'm all for the academy.
And what was the thought process in that? Was it to try and pursue education and soccer, or was there something else to it?
I mean, to be completely honest, I wasn't very good at soccer, when I was young, mostly because I didn't care enough. I thought I could just go out and play and I have to train, and I didn't take care of my body at all. And it was just kind of I always just was good enough to play for the bad teams, but never good enough to play for the good teams. And so it came to a point when I was about 15 where like one, I had already given up on soccer once, and then my parents kind of talked me into coming back just as something to do. And then I was doing kind of bad in school, and then after it was because in Brazil it's from January to December is the school year. In the middle of the school year, I went on this trip with a club called Pequeninos do Jockey, and it's like a amateur club, and they go to Europe to play these tournaments. And then when I was in Europe, this guy kind of came to me and was like, "Hey, do you have interest to go into America to like play?" And I didn't know nothing about playing here, so I was just like, "No, not really." And then my dad kind of talked me into like listening to what the guy had to say and seeing what it was really about. And literally like 2 weeks after the guy mentioned it to me, like I came here, I came to America and like started my high school, but it was mostly to stay 1 year to kind of see where it would take me. But in that year, like I developed like crazy because Malvern Academy is a boarding school and you can't do anything. Like you literally, it's like a jail basically. It's a very nice jail. And so,
and you guys had tons of talent over there. I remember in 2015, our like Red Bull second team, had our preseason in Orlando. I think we scrimmaged them.
Oh yeah, I mean, the team is sick. Like, and my year was the year I went there was the first year that they started the soccer program there.
Okay.
And so it was like 70 kids from all over the world, like super sick. Like I was so overwhelmed, but yeah, originally I came here to stay 1 year and kind of get my life back on track, see what I wanted to do, and it just kind of escalated into like I kept just staying with the process here.
Yeah, and so you went there, you ended up staying more than 1 year, and then during your senior year of high school, what was your thought? Let me graduate high school and then I'm going to go to college in the U.S., or were you thinking maybe I'll go back to Brazil, or were you thinking professional soccer? How was that?
So like between my junior and senior year of high school, I came back to Brazil. I had 3 months off for like the summer, and I started playing with São Paulo FC. I mean, you know São Paulo, and like they are one of the best youth clubs in Brazil and professional. They are like top club.
Yeah. And
so I was like, I'm just gonna do a test, like how do you say it? It's like a
trial.
Do a test, trial. Yeah, sorry, trial, and see like how it goes. See if like what they tell me, like maybe they'll let me stay, whatever. So the São Paulo like kind of way they do it is like they have a whole week where you train with the team, and then they literally tell you like fuck off, you suck, or they just like let you stay for like another week.
Yeah.
And so I was like I'll do it. And then I went there Monday through Friday. Friday they didn't say anything, just told me to come back Monday. So I was like, okay, like that's pretty cool. And then a month went by and I was still there. And I was just kind of like, this is crazy. This club, like I had done tryouts there before and they told me no. And like, now I'm back and like, they are like accepting me here. And I just thought it was like kind of interesting. So then I kept doing that. And so my coach from high school is calling me nonstop, like, you coming back, right? Like, you coming back. And I was like, yeah, I think I am. I'm playing with this club right now, but I think I am. And then 3 months went by and my dad was like, dude, there's no way you're going back to Mount Verde, right? Like, you're playing for one of the best clubs in Brazil. It makes no sense for you to leave now. And I was just like, no, Dad, like, I actually think I should finish high school in America and then probably like go to college there. Which is kind of like usually the opposite in Brazil. I mean, Ben, you know that. Yeah. Like, usually parents have to like tell you to like stay in school and like finish school.
Yeah, especially if you have the capabilities of like getting a job. Like a lot of kids that become pros in Brazil, because that's their one avenue that they can go, right? That's it. They're not going to go to college, and soccer's their one chance to get out of, the poverty.
Yeah. But my dad, I mean, obviously I've mentioned him before. He is a little, so he was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is a chance of your life. Take it. Like, literally take it. And I was like, okay, let's do this. I'm going to go to São Paulo. I'm going to see if they offer me a contract. If they offer me a contract, like, I'll stay. And, if they don't, then I'm going to leave because because I was like, if I stay here, they kick me out 2 days later. I have nothing. I don't have a club. I have, like, the school year in Brazil is different. So I'll have to wait 6 months to restart school. Like, it would have been a mess. Yeah. And my dad's like, okay, like, that's fine. And then I went to São Paulo and I was like, hey, like, been here for 3 months. Like, what do you guys think? And they're like, we want you to stay another 3 months without a contract. And then after that, if you're still here, then we'll give you a contract. And it was just a risk that I didn't want to take. because in Brazil, like things escalate really quickly with like maybe the coaching change, maybe the like head scout change, maybe the director changes, and I was gonna be left with nothing.
Or and rather they just probably would want you to keep training without having to pay you, obviously, if you're just gonna stay. I mean,
yeah, that was like part of it too. Like I knew that there was a couple forwards that were injured, and I got like I didn't get the vibe that they really wanted me. They were just trying to keep me around because I was good enough to obviously push the starters and like make them all like work. And so I was just like, yeah, like I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go. And then I called my high school coach and I was like, hey, I'm coming back. And he's like, no, sorry, you can't come back now.
No, really.
He was like, yeah, I'm sorry, like there's not enough spaces in the school, I can't get you in. And then I lost it. I was like, no way, I just turned down all this opportunity, blah blah blah. Like, and I was like, you can't do this to me. Like I'll be left with nothing here. And he was like, okay, sure, then you can come. And I was like, oh my god, what is this? Like you had that, you whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but he's like the nicest guy ever. But just that time, I think he wanted to kind of make me like sweat a little bit because I had made him sweat for like 3 months, saying I was gonna come back with like having another opportunity. And then that's when I decided to come back my senior year. And when I came back my senior year, I kind of knew that I was most likely gonna go to college here.
Nice.
And were you heavily recruited, or I mean, the Denver Pioneers? No disrespect, but they're not the largest D1 soccer school.
They've gotten pretty good recently, though.
They have, thanks to a guy like Andre. But what? I mean, what? Why there?
No, I was not heavily recruited, dude. It was crazy because I was winning. Like I won like Florida like Player of the Year for like high school and stuff, and obviously it's still high school soccer, which gets no respect, but people know Malvern Academy is like a powerhouse for like building talent and stuff. So I was like, why am I not getting the recruits? And my coach like would tell me like, dude, a lot of the people in college here are like too small to play as a striker in college. And a lot of the big schools. And I was just like it's crazy because I see the coaches like Clemson come in and like they wouldn't talk to me. Like
when are coaches gonna learn to just stop using that excuse? Like you always hear that excuse.
Like the ACC coaches would come in like a lot of them.
That was me too.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I wasn't very highly recruited, and one of the reasons was because I was small.
Stupid.
Yeah, I was just like, it is what it is. And then the Denver came in and they were like heavily recruiting me. Like they offered me a full ride on the spot. They're like, you don't have to pay a penny to come here. Like we want you really bad. And so I was like, okay, like that's pretty cool. Like I went to check the rankings. They were like 95 in the country. So like I was just like, okay, whatever. And then I actually went on a visit and like I saw the facilities at DU and they are like DU is a very rich school because it's like a private institution in Colorado. Like a lot of rich people go there. Like I think tuition this year was like $62K or something. So like the school has a lot of money. And so facilities were like super new. They had a brand new locker room. It was like pretty sick. And honestly, like the thing that I loved the most about GU was like the people, like the coaches, like they really believed in me.
Yeah.
And they didn't sugarcoat me saying, oh, you're the best player in the world. Like they started talking about all the bad things that I did on the field and how I could improve them, how they would help me improve them. And so it was mainly Jamie Franks who actually played with Ike in college.
I played against Jamie Franks and played with him on the U18 national team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know him pretty well.
He's a very, very interesting person.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Muse, who turned out to be the Wake Forest coach. And when I called Bobby to say I was going to commit to Denver, he was like, actually, like, I'm not the DU head coach anymore. I just accepted a position as the head coach for Wake Forest.
And did he offer you a spot there at that time?
Yeah. This is the funny story. So then I was just like, oh my God, now DU is not going to want me. I'm going to be left with nothing again. And Bobby was just like, yes, but like, I know that the assistant coach at Wake, like, has spoken to you because he had spoken to me, but he didn't offer me anything. It was like more of like that courtesy call. Like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Whatever. And so Bobby was like, I want to take you with me to Wake because I was like, that was January of senior year. So I was a pretty late commit. So I didn't have much time to like think. And Bobby was like, no, I want you to come. I obviously can't offer the same thing I offered you at DU, but like, I want you to come. And then I felt really good about like Jamie getting the head coaching job at DU. And so I just decided to go to DU because like I really believed on like the mission really of like turning the program around, which like honestly, it was even better than I expected. Like I didn't think that going there, we were going to like make it to the Final Four, like have 2 undefeated regular seasons, but Like it was just I believed in their mission and it paid off.
Yeah. I mean, you guys had a ridiculous turnaround for sure. And a lot of good players coming out of there too that play in MLS. Obviously we haven't seen Courtney in a while with his injury, but another guy that played there with you that can definitely, have a good career in MLS if he fixes his knee at some point. But
yeah, the guy has got definitely some issues.
Yeah.
But with me and Graham, and like there's a lot of you guys in the USL too, because that's kind of like how it starts for programs. It's like you get some guys in the USL, people start to notice. You get a couple guys in the MLS, and
yeah, no, you guys did a good job. Jamie Franks has done really well there. Any other question about DU before I start getting into the draft here, Sal?
No, just curious about, going back to the Sal and 60 as I will say. I asked you about books or audiobooks, and your dad's an author, so like what? You just don't even read
so
or what?
Stuff. Dude, like I don't like to read at all.
Okay.
I never have. But yes, my dad is a very
your dad's famous.
He's a very accomplished book writer in Brazil. And it's probably one of his biggest disappointments is that I don't read. But to be fair, like, for example, like I used to get in not a lot of trouble, but I used to get in some trouble in school for like doing stupid stuff. Mostly just like really dumb stuff like throwing chairs around. And I used to get in trouble, like get sent to the principal's office and get suspended. And my dad would like put me in, like they would get me in trouble, and he said, "Oh, you can't leave the house." How you say that in English?
Detention.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, like kind of like detention, like, or he would make me
grounded.
like
grounded. Yeah, grounded.
Yeah, grounded.
Yeah,
grounded.
yes.
That's the word I was looking for.
Detention's at school.
I forgot
That's
that.
right.
Yeah, I forgot about the word grounded. But okay, so and then like 2 weeks into my grounding period, he would offer me a deal to read one of his books and like write like a 2 essay page of what the book was about, and I would be able to not be grounded anymore. He would like offer me these deals all the time. He would also like make these deals where like I have to write 200 times in a piece of paper. I would not disrespect my dad.
That's from The Simpsons,
like,
dude.
Like 200 times, and I would have to write it. I used to.
So how many books of his have you actually read because of punishment?
I've only read like 2.5. Because sometimes he would offer, and I would just be like, "No, I'd just rather stay dead."
Well, all right.
That's probably even more disrespectful.
That is disrespectful to your dad, man. Come on. All right, let's move on. Getting drafted, dude. So you played 4 years at DU, turned the program around. They're building you a statue at DU at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting.
and so now you're about to get drafted. Did you have a pretty good idea that Colorado was going to be the team that was going to take you? Did you want to go there? Was there any teams that you were interested in? How was that whole, I didn't go through a draft, and neither did Sal. I'm curious how that process was for you.
Dude, honestly, the draft is so sick. Like, it was such an amazing experience for me with like the combine and draft all kind of like together. And obviously I went to the combine. I had just come from the Herman Trophy like ceremony, which by the way, I got robbed. Andrew, if you're listening to me.
Who won?
Andrew Gutman, the Cincinnati left back. Bro, he knows he robbed me on that. It's okay. You can hear that I'm not even salty about it. But, so I went to that, lost, obviously. And then came to the combine and had like 3 interviews the first day with Dallas, San Jose, and Chicago. And they had picks like 2, 4, and 5. And so that kind of gave me an idea that I was probably going to go high. Because, like, for example, when Graham went there, he had like 15 interviews because he had so many teams that could pick him. And because I didn't have as many interviews with like lower teams, I was like, okay, so like I must be doing something right because like it's like gone well. Only the high teams are interviewing me. And then I had an interview with Colorado. They actually had the 15th pick because they traded their pick away to get Kellen Acosta like that year. And so. You know how Hudson is. I mean, he's a pretty funny guy. He comes up to me and he's like, "We want you really bad. Like, you should play terrible tomorrow, so then we can pick you without trading." And
only Anthony Hudson would say something like that, dude.
I just thought it was so funny, and like obviously, all the guys like Embers and Bass, like they all just like laughing. Like it was a really good interview. Like it was like awesome. But the interview was more for them to like see that I was in a total jackass more than like just like that I had to prove a point.
Right.
And because like all of my combine interviews did go really well, except for the one in Chicago. I came into the room. There was like 8 guys, all with like Croatian names. Or something. It was like Veljko Paunovic.
We've talked about that coach.
Veljko Paunovic has got some stories on the podcast already. So
but this is more about the GM Nelson. I think
Nelson Rodriguez.
Yeah. So I shake all their hands. It's some crazy names I don't even remember. And then when I shake Nelson's hand, I look in his eye, and I'm about to, and he's like, I'm Nelson. I was like, I'm Andre, and then I'm about to keep going, and he holds my hand and doesn't let go. And so I like try to pull a little bit harder, and he like keeps my hand there, like holding hard, and he's like, repeat me back all of the coaches' names right now.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, oh my God. I knew like the head coach because I had looked it up, and him didn't know anybody else. I like was put on the spot so hard. I froze, and I was just like, I didn't know any of them. And he's like, yeah, that's why you pay attention when people like introduce themselves to you. That's how the interview started. And then I had to sit in the room for 30 minutes. I was drenched in sweat. I was freaking out.
Oh my gosh. I'm 33 years old and I struggle with that. I shake someone's hand and I'm like, 5 minutes later, I'm like, can't remember their name.
I can't remember anyone's names, dude. Now, I'm so much more worried about like just like, you know, if I were shaking someone's hand, like doing it properly to make sure I look the right way. And I'm not even thinking about them. Like, hey, my name is Paunovic. Like, what? Who? I don't remember at all. I'll look it up later, dude.
Dude, that's how the interview started. And actually after that was like great. Like they showed they really liked me, but I knew that Chicago wasn't going to pick me. That was for sure. I mean, they were the ones that traded the pick away to give it to Colorado to pick me.
That's right. What pick were you?
It was 5.
5. Yeah.
And on top of everything, the draft was in Chicago. So there was a bunch of Chicago Fire fans booing me because Chicago just traded away their pick in their home city. So yeah, that was like a pretty funny story from the combine. And then like I was pre-signed, so I was together with all the GA guys on the buses that get sent straight to the draft. Like I got top treatment because obviously they do treat the guys that they know are gonna go higher a little better than the others.
Right.
And so when I sat down, I basically had no idea who was gonna pick me. And that is true. Like some people do think that the draft is a little bit rigged, and people know. That might be the case with some picks. They might tell the kid before. But with me, it wasn't. Like, Porig turned to Mike and started laughing 15 seconds before they announced the pick. And so Mike was like, Andre, like, you ready? Like, they for sure got you.
Yeah.
And then they announced the trade, and the rest is history. But it was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think they've done well with that trade and that draft pick. So
they did take a bit of a gamble though, because I mean I was an international, like I was already older than the GAs.
Actually, I'm already gonna ask you this question, so I can ask you a later one. Can you get U.S. citizenship at some point?
I mean, I can, like, you can apply for it, but like there needs to be a lot of things that have to come together for that to happen. There's like I haven't like looked completely into it because I also have an Italian citizenship.
Yeah, that's what I read.
I was gonna ask you that actually. I have Italian citizenship as well. Where's that part of in your parents?
My mom's
side. Okay.
Both of my mom's parents are from Italy. So okay. I have an Italian passport. I could potentially get a Japanese passport because my dad's family is from there. And so I just don't know if like it would be.
Would you have to give one up? Maybe.
Yeah. I do have to give one up 100% if I get an American citizenship. Either have to give up Brazil or have to give up Italy.
Right.
And giving up Brazil is giving up my identity, and giving up Italy is giving up
a good chance to go to Europe.
Yeah. It's just, and so that would have to be something that I would have to really think about. If obviously Greg Berhalter calls me and is like, I want you to play for the national team, I wouldn't even think twice. I'm like, yes. 100%,
figuring it out, yeah.
Because Brazil is like almost impossible to play for their national team, right. And so
that would have been my follow up question. So if you had interest and if that happened, would you go for it? So you obviously answered it.
I would do it 100%.
Yeah,
I would do it in a heartbeat. I mean, I love the U.S. and
has Porig in Colorado like talked to you about trying to apply for one in terms of like so that you won't be an international spot anymore?
Well, that's what a green card is for, basically.
So
a green card is not a citizenship. A green card is a step closer to citizenship.
I had a green card, dude. I know what a green card is.
But you were like 5 when you had a green card.
When I got my citizenship, I was 16 or 17. I got my green card at like 12, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
but if you had a green card,
you weren't the one applying.
No,
and, like,
no,
doing
obviously
all this
my
stuff.
parents. But if you had a green card, you would not, and you would no longer be an international player.
No, like for example, like Diego.
Right.
Or like there's a lot of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all over the league that happens.
And so I am in the process of getting a green card, and that would be obviously a step towards that. But I mean, honestly, like when there was the U23 camp, and I saw a bunch of the guys that got drafted with me, and guys that like I thought I was better, like getting called up. I was just like, dude, I could be literally going into the Olympics if I was American.
Yeah, well, first you guys got to make it to the Olympics first. We haven't done that since 2008.
Yeah, yeah, but still, what I'm saying is like you get the chance to play in an Olympic qualifying game. Like it's still a sick experience, and like I mean I don't want to sound cocky, but like I am sure that like if I was American, like I would have made the roster 100%.
Yeah, I believe you, dude. I believe you too. All right. Let's move on to Colorado Rapids now. So the first year, that was like a roller coaster, right? I was there for the beginning of it. There was massive struggle from the team. Like we didn't win a game, I think, for the first 12 or 13 games. Then some success. You guys finished off the year pretty well, all things considering. I mean, you guys almost made the playoffs after an awful start. You had a lot of individual success. You won Rookie of the Year. So how was that year for you? Like, what did you think about the year? Like, what do you take from it going into the next year? Were you happy with what you did? How was that?
I mean, I was happy, obviously, like winning Rookie of the Year. I would be lying if I just said like, oh my God, it's all about team success. No, I was happy. Like I won Rookie of the Year. Like I like how would I not be happy? But I do think that part of me was like so used to like always winning in college and in high school. And like, I obviously didn't think that I was going to come to Colorado and change the game. Like I knew it was going to be way different, but I did expect us to be better than we were. Like I did, like with how many good players we had and how like we were like the good moments would be so good. I just think that the year was a little bit like, if I had to, like, obviously I ended on a high note, so that was good, but the start of the year was rough. I mean, you were there for like the probably the worst part of it. Like I was used to that. I wasn't used to like not winning a game.
Yeah.
In like I think it was like almost 3 months we went without winning a game.
Yeah.
And it's like there's pressure on you, and like you have like Hudson telling me like, oh, if you don't lose your body fat another 1%, you're like gonna get cut. Like all these craziness, and like we're training at the Broncos facility. Everybody hates it. Nobody wants to be there. I have you always just confiding in me, telling me all this crazy stuff like about the team, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is like madness. And I was just like,
Benny's probably telling you, just quit now, man. Don't even go through the next 12
dude,
years.
I would have told you about. So there's some similarities in what you felt, because I had been playing for a winning team ever since I came to Kansas City and then LAFC. So I wasn't, I had played for some losing teams before, but I'd been a while since I'd been on one.
Yeah.
So I would have told you.
I heard your stories.
I would have told you the same thing. Like, look, hang in there, because there's some years that just don't work out, and that stuff ends, and then better stuff begins. So I would have told you to hang in there.
Yeah, well, you were in there with me, so like obviously we were like kind of just like together in this, and like obviously we like had just gotten to know each other, but with you, I feel like everybody you meet and that you like actually like you will literally like be their best friend.
Yep. And everyone he hates, he'll just
yeah, and everyone, it's there's no like oh Benny, like nice guy. It's like
there's no in between.
Oh Benny, that guy's like I love that man, or
you
like
either love him or you hate him.
Yeah,
I'm curious. I'm curious what you think was the biggest reason for the improvement, though. Was it you guys got a new coach? You guys got new players? Or was it just you guys got rid of me?
No, I do think that I honestly don't think getting rid of you did anything, like change anything for the better.
Yeah, that means a lot, man. Thanks.
If anything, like you were being a little negative every now and then. But,
a little. How can you only be a little negative? We lost 13 games or 12 games or something.
I just remember us like going to practice like one day, and you're just like, oh, sick, we're gonna lose again this week. I don't even know why we're training. And like you would say that in front of the coaches, no problem. Like, and that's why I respected you. Like you were never talking behind people's back, or when you and Tommy Smith would just like get after each other in practice. There was like definitely good moments. Like you look back to this year in Colorado, like, dude, I have stories for like a lifetime from like 3 months, just of how much stuff happened that year.
Yeah, and
but I do think getting Lalas was like huge for us. Like the guy just defends. It doesn't matter if he can. Like there's days where he like doesn't want to pass the ball. Fine, just defend. That's all we needed. We were giving up over 3 goals a game,
right?
And so getting John Lewis too, like he was important for other aspects. Like we had more depth up front, and it was good. And I think the change in head coach was like a major part of it. Obviously, like I liked Hudson a lot. I mean, he was the guy that gave me an opportunity to become a professional soccer player. And like, I'll be forever grateful for that. But I just think that he had lost control of the group and guys didn't really want to play for him anymore. And that like I think was even more important than even like the tactical aspect of the game, because you can have bad tactics and guys that will run their life for you. Like you will still get some wins. You might not make the playoffs, but you will have success. And with him, it's like the tactics were like not working for us. We were putting players in ways that they just couldn't play. And so like changing the head coach was super important. I mean, when Connor Casey came around, it was just like a breath of fresh air, and
right.
He just basically gave us so much freedom, which was what we were lacking in. I don't know if you were there, right, for the first, like, I think, couple games of Connor.
I was there for the 2 games for Connor. Yeah. Or sorry, maybe it might have been just 1. I think I was there for the Vancouver game. Wasn't the Vancouver game the first game?
It was Vancouver, Salt Lake.
Salt Lake. I left after the Vancouver game. So the Vancouver game was another it felt like everything was going wrong that year, right? So Vancouver,
dude, we were like averaging 2 goals a game and we didn't have a single one.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, Vancouver, I remember was like the last straw for me, where we went down 2-0. They were terrible. We were down 2-0, and then we came back and tied it, and we were outplaying them. I started on the bench. I came in off the bench, and I'm like, great, like we're outplaying them right now. We're 2-2. I'm gonna come in, help the team. We'll get the 3rd goal. Less than a minute after I get in, Diego gets a red card, Rubio. So then I'm like, oh my God, now we got to play down a man. I just came in to play down.
You have no idea how many times that happened to me. Like that year, I think that there was like 3 or 4 instances where I came into the game and we got scored on with less than a minute after I came into the game.
Yeah. That's the worst feeling too, isn't it?
It's terrible. It's terrible.
There was one game I hadn't even touched the ball and Johan got a red card. Like that was like that year. That was that year. There was story of that year. Like the first 6 months were just like awful. Nothing was going on. Right. And dude, I was dog sitting for you that day, like or the day after that.
That's right.
I was dog sitting, and
I was on a trip with my family. They came to visit. That's right.
They sent me to like play with the switchbacks and stuff, and so they were like, "Oh, you were like, yeah. So can you take care of my dog for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like I was like, "Dude, you're not gonna even pay me." And then Diego was like, "Yeah, you have to pay him, Benny." And then he gave.
Yeah, that's what you and Aiko Parra have in common, dude. You guys have both dog sat for Frankie.
Dude, by the way, that dog, I have no idea how she's still alive. I gotta just tell you.
She's a healthy girl, dude.
She must be struggling by now, dude, because she was like the sound that she makes. There is something stuck inside her throat that you need to go check what it is.
All right, enough of my dog. Real quick, I just want to ask this before I get into the last couple questions. The one thing that I really had a lot of fun in Colorado with was preseason at Chula Vista and playing Wizard with you clowns and playing the little horse track thing with all the animals and rolling dice.
Biggies.
And that was my best memory. I'm hoping, just for your sake, that you have some good memories of when I was on the team as well.
Dude, I have so many amazing memories. I mean, I think that we literally it was so many good memories because of bad moments, actually. Like, I do think that, like, we were in Chula Vista stuck. We had nowhere to go. We were just into Newport for this last preseason. Like, the difference between my first and my second preseason is, like, insane.
Right.
We were in Fashion Island, like, Gucci store 5 minutes from the hotel. And the other side, we were hearing gunshots from Mexico. So
Chula Vista is actually where I'm with the San Diego Loyal in USL. That's actually where we train currently. That's our home.
I was gonna say though, I was gonna say it wasn't gunshots that we heard. Our room was directly below the coaches, and they were watching like videos, like Anthony Hudson and Bays all watching videos and getting pissed off and smashing tables and all that. That's what we heard up there.
It was crazy. I have no idea how, like, because to be honest, when we came into like that preseason, I thought they were gonna pair me like with like the rookies for like the rooms, And so I was just kind of bummed because I really wanted to be part of the team, but like it's really hard to do that when you're in a room with just rookies.
Yeah.
But somehow we came to the room. It was me, you, Keegan, and Kellen.
Our room was perfect, dude. Are you kidding me?
I was like, bro, this is amazing. Like everybody wanted to be in our room. Like you like I thought I was gonna be like trying to, be more of a part of. And you were always barging into my room. I was just like watching a movie. It's like, bro, you have to come out. Like, you have to come play with us. And I was just like, yeah, I guess I have no
This
option.
guy went to sleep with like boots on one day, I'm pretty sure. He was so tired after practice. He went to sleep with he had boots on in the room. Like, what's going on?
No, it's because our scheduling was so messed up that like we had to get up for a lift after 30 minutes. So I just put my shoes on and go to bed and get up. I actually don't think I did that.
All right. Let's move on. We're running out. Dude, look at this. We're not even gonna have time for a plead the fifth at this point, but let's get it going. What is the goal for the team this year?
It's make the playoffs. There's like no other thing that we're gonna be satisfied with. Starting like 2-0 and really showing that we could play with like we didn't just beat teams, like we outplayed them too, and I think that was the most important part of it. Like we out muscle teams, we beat them in the end. Like we showed like a gritty mentality, and so I think if we do anything less than the playoffs this year, and even to be fair, like a home game for the playoffs, like we're not gonna be happy with it.
Yeah.
But I know that's what every team says too. So it's
no, not like every team says that. I think that's the right goal.
Playoffs
for you
is
guys.
realistic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think after last year, you guys started off terrible. We started off terrible. You guys finished off really well, and so the goal has to be to continue that over the course of the entire season, make the playoffs, and then. I mean, it's hard to say like you're going to win a championship because you need to get that experience, but getting experience in the playoffs is huge for you guys. I think that's a great goal to have. And
we do have like we have a young team too, which like guys that don't have a lot of experience, and then we have like Drew and Kai who are like a lot older than everybody else, and they have so much experience. Right. So I do think we have a good mix. I mean, I'm like really excited for this year.
Good.
Or whatever this year.
What about for your career, dude? Like individually speaking, I know we talked a little bit with the national team. If Greg were to call you, you'd be there, 100%. What about in terms of playing in MLS? Do you even think that far ahead? Like, do you want to play your entire career here? Do you want to potentially move over to Europe at some point? You said you have connections with Italy. What about back in Brazil? Is that a goal of yours, or is that kind of something that's too far ahead to think about?
It's just hard because it's not really in my control. I like to say things that I can control, and that's not really like in my control. I always had the dream of playing in Europe and in like the top division in Brazil, but with how MLS is growing and like all the things that are happening here, for like it would make no sense for me, for example, to go to Brazil today unless it's to play for like the top 4 clubs there. Yeah. And so the MLS has gotten so good that I do think that the move for me would mostly make sense if I was to leave was to go to Europe. And to be honest, dude, I wouldn't even go to Europe to many of the countries that I see like some guys going. Like there are not that many leagues in Europe that are better than the MLS. Like I would say that the MLS is probably comparable to like a Holland, or like I think it's better than Portugal. And so those are like the 6th and 7th like best leagues. Yeah. I do think that like MLS teams could maybe compete in like the Serie A, and I like the best teams. I do think it's a completely different style of soccer, but like I do think except like if you take out the 5 best leagues like England, Germany,
Spain,
Italy, and France, even France, do think a lot of the like Colorado if we went to play in the French league, I think we could compete and not like look bad. We could probably get what I'm saying is like we wouldn't get relegated. It's what I feel like. Yeah. So I like that's why when people say, "Oh, you're gonna go to Europe," is like, dude, Europe is huge. Yeah, like, there are so many.
And another massive thing though in MLS now that's slowly becoming reality, which it didn't used to be like that, is that you can play well, get a new contract, make real money where the ceiling isn't so low. It used to be that like you look like a guy like Wondolowski who literally went from as low as you can be coming into the league to basically as high as you can be, winning MVP. He's the all-time goal scorer in the league. And he was only able to make, like $600,000 or $800,000. And that's the absolute top of the top of the top. Whereas in Europe, if you go there and you have a few good seasons, you can be making, well over $1 million. And so the financial aspect now isn't like that. You can, you see guys like Jordan Morris, he's making, $1 million, or Christian Roldan is, I think, making close to that as well. So guys that are still young that have proven themselves in this league are able to make that money. So it makes more sense now financially that you can make a career out of it here, and play your
that's
entire
like a huge part of it. That's a huge part of it, I think,
Right.
because before it used to be like you have to go to Europe to make money. Now you don't, and so like a lot of like I know I have heard of my friends. I'm not friends with Jordan Morris, but I've heard them like say that Jordan Morris is just like, I don't want to leave Seattle. What do you got for me?
Right.
And they were like, yes, we will pay you, man. Like we will take care of you.
Yeah.
Like now you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm just I just witnessed San Jose's thrashing here of Real Salt Lake 5-2. Looks like they're
5-2.
moving on. My sleeper pick. Remember that, Sal? I picked them early on.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
RSL only shows up to play when it's against us.
Yeah, well, I mean, last year it wasn't so hard, and I think the year before they beat before either of us was there. I think they beat
that
beat
was
them
the
like 6-0, right?
Yeah,
it was
6-0. I think they got a red card, like 2 red cards within the first half.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Let's get into that. Plead the fifth, Benny. Let's put this guy on the hot seat.
Yeah, it's time for plead the fifth.
Yeah.
So you've done well with everything so far, but now it gets down to the nitty gritty. Your seat will start warming up, Andre. So buckle in, get yourself a water bottle, maybe a match Lyon, and
I have a lot of questions that I could ask you. So I'm like,
yeah, exactly. If you answer all, you know the rules. If you answer all of them, you get to ask us one. If you want to plead the fifth, you can do that one time. You ready? All right.
Good.
First question from me. You're the coach. You've just become the coach. Robin Fraser said, "I'm sick today. You're going to be the coach for this massive game that you guys need to win to make the playoffs." God. And you get to decide who the starting 3 up top are. Between you got Kai Kamara, you got Diego Rubio, you got Andre Shinyashiki, you got Benazet, you got Jonathan Lewis, Namli, and Nico Mosquita. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. What are your 3? Who do you put up top in the must-win game for you guys to make the playoffs?
Dude, actually, I'm gonna go with a pick that I don't think you're expecting.
Okay.
But I am actually gonna put 2 strikers and a center mid or an attacking mid underneath instead of 2 wingers and a striker.
So how are you gonna play okay? So you're gonna play.
I don't care how it is.
All right, just give me 3. Doesn't matter. You can give me 3.
It's gonna be Eunice, me, and Diego.
Eunice, you, and Diego. All right.
Dude, I do think me and Diego had a really good thing going in preseason.
Do you want to open it up then to who the outside midfielders are? You can give me 2 more. Or do you not want to do that?
I mean, the outside midfield, I feel like that. I mean, then I'll be kind of cheating because if I'm playing 3 back, it could be like Vinzi or Keegan.
Okay. All right. That's fine. We'll leave it at that then. Namli, you, and Diego. I like that.
Yeah.
So not too many crosses into the box from Jack Price for you guys to head in, but all right.
No, we're playing different style now.
So right. Question 2, you won Rookie of the Year, okay? So I'm going to give you 4 guys that you were competing with. I want you to give me your runner-up in your mind and the worst one out of the 4, okay?
The least best.
Yes, least best, okay. Aronson, Dotson, Gasper, or Amaya? Give me your worst out of the 4 and your best out of the 4.
Is this based on last year or just like total like talent potential?
However he wants to.
That's kind of hard. I mean, I'm gonna do based off of last year.
Okay.
I think that would be more fair because there are a lot of talented guys that just like. So I'm gonna go Frankie last because he played the least.
Okay.
The 4 guys we talked about. I do think he has the potential to be like really special, but he just didn't play, and he was also part of a team that was pretty bad. And so
not pretty bad.
Doesn't help you.
Stop. Hey, you don't like it when people sugarcoat it for you, so don't sugarcoat it for them.
Yeah, they sucked. Cincinnati sucked last year. It was one of the teams that like we just smashed, and I was like, oh my god, we weren't even good, and we smashed them. Right. So then there's some bad things happening for them this year. And then I'll go with him. Then I'll go with Chase third.
You don't even have to give me third. Just give me your best.
Nah, he already did. Now he might as well go. Chase.
Okay, now you got it. Go ahead, Chase.
Yeah. Okay, Chase, then Dotson second, and Aronson. Okay. Or Aronson first.
Yeah. After Aronson second, right? Because you're first.
Yeah.
No one can overtake the champ.
You're the best.
Yeah, it's all good. They were all good. They were all good players. I met most of them. I mean, they all got drafted with me except for Aronson. So it was like there's all good people.
Yeah. All right. 3rd question. You're flying through these. We need some hard ones here. But I'm going to bring you back to preseason again. I'm glad I mentioned the preseason games that we had. So our room was me, you, Keegan Rosenberry, and Kellen Acosta. And we played this game called Wizard that for some people that don't know it's kind of similar to Spades or Hearts. It's like kind of like a mixture of games. Rank the players in terms of how good they were at that game, please. And let's, just to make it very clear, I want to know who the worst one was because it was very clear to me.
Okay, so you want me to rank myself on them or no?
No, I want you to rank you. Yeah, but there was one. I want you to rank.
I know what you're looking for. Like,
Keegan,
I can tell.
And
like,
Kellen, let's go.
Like, I know what you want. Like, Kellen is definitely the worst Wizard player ever. Like, that guy, like, he just made moves that, like, because Wizard, you can, like, there's a certain way you play, and there's, like,
I'm pretty sure Kellen didn't understand the rules of the
game.
Don't,
like, disrespect the basics. Like, and he sometimes even broke the rules. He would throw cards that you're not allowed to throw at certain times. But
oh, man,
it is Kellen. What it is. Kellen last, 100%. Then I'm going to go with you, second last.
Oh, my God. This is the worst, most biased thing I've ever seen.
You were just on and off, you know? Like, you had really good games and you had really bad games, which you can only have really good games if you have really good cards. So you didn't do very well when you got dealt bad cards. And so that's why you came in third.
I'll allow you to lie.
I'm going to go me second because I actually was second most times that we played. I was like always second. I never won. I was never fourth. I was always second.
Yeah.
And then Keegan goes first. I mean, the guy brought the game. He brought the cards. He just knew the rules a little bit better.
Yeah, he also he somehow produced those cards. Like all the good cards always landed.
I
don't know
hands. Like if it was like what he had going on, like because he was the shuffler. He was always shuffling the cards.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's some.
There's some tricky stuff going on.
There's some tricky stuff, but that was an easy question. Thank you for that one. That was a free.
Yeah, you're welcome. We got two more. Sal, we gonna get them?
Yeah, no. Question 4. Hopefully this one. Rank these coaches that you've had. Okay. Anthony Hudson, Connor Casey, Robin Fraser, or Jamie Franks. Rank them, please. You can plead the fifth.
Yeah, I'm always talking trash to Benny when people plead the fifth, so I'm not. There's no way I'm pleading the fifth. Okay. So,
oh man, I gotta think of a harder fifth question then, so he doesn't get to ask me. Sal, I thought this was gonna get him.
I'll go with Hudson last, simply because he never started me. Like he loved me coming off the bench, but I don't think he loved me as a starter for some reason, and so. He has to go last. He did. I am very grateful for him drafting me and giving me the chance to play, but he's last. And also because we never won under him, so I'd be like, how could I not put him last? Third, I'm gonna go Connor Casey. He gave me so many opportunities to play. I would be cramping, and he's like, I'm not subbing you out. Keep going. The guy loved me, and so although he might not have been the most genius tactically or anything like that, he gave me the chance to play in. So I was doing well, so I got to give him a little bit of a higher up. Then Jamie, second. I mean, he is if I know anything about soccer, it's all because of him, and he taught me a lot of the mental side of it. So he goes second, and Robin goes first. I'm not just saying that because he's the coach right now. I'm saying that because his way of understanding the game and explaining really hard principles in an easy way is very impressive, and so he is definitely number one. Yeah.
Nice. All right, last question is kind of an easy one. I'm not going to change it for you. Let's say Colorado did not exist and you're at the draft. What is the top team that you would have wanted to get drafted by in terms of location, the talent around you, where you think you'd have the most success, and the bottom team where you would never want to go to?
Oh, that's
so the top and the bottom.
Hard.
One team.
How is that an easy question?
It's easy because at least you're not having to put Colorado, in a negative space.
Oh my god, dude!
You just put one team up there on the pedestal, and whatever team you just.
It has to be teams that were in MLS when I was getting drafted, or can it be any team?
It can be, let's say, any team. Let's say if you're getting drafted this year, for example. So any team that's
so I'm gonna go last first. I'm gonna say the team that I did not want it to pick me, and I would go with Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I just there were so many things that I felt were wrong with the organization, and plus they like passed on me really hard. Like they were the only team on the top 5 that didn't interview with me, that never talked to me, like just didn't show any interest. And I mean, there's many reasons for it. Maybe didn't have international spot. There are like a lot of reasons for that, but like with what I've seen, and I don't know the organization very well. I know they like have a new stadium coming. There's a lot of like cool stuff happening there. I have a friend from Ohio, and hasn't said the best things about Cincinnati as a city as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Since he's out,
since he is last, but.
And where do you see that somewhere that you would have enjoyed, whether it be, the city, the team?
Yeah, that's like so hard, because all of the good teams, it would have been way harder for me to play. Like,
yeah, but let's say you're going to play, you're going to be given a chance. Where do you think you could succeed? Where do you think you would, the system suits you and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, this might come as a surprise, but I think San Jose.
San Jose.
Like I like the way they like are so like just a hard team to beat. Like they will kick you, like they will hustle, like they like forwards that defend. Like I mean I made a lot of success this year because I defended so much, because I like was always hustling. I feel like I would have given a chance to play there because they are a smaller market team. Plus, like I love California. Like I like the weather there a lot, although it's not like the prettiest part of, for example, like LA or anything like that. Like it's still in California. And yeah,
it's
like
no San Diego, but yeah.
Yeah, it's no San Diego, but yeah, they like I loved my interview with the coaches there. And yeah, I think so, and plus I would get some tips from Wondolowski, who's a legend. So
That's right.
I mean, I think San Jose would be a place that I would have liked to. I mean, there's a lot of places I would have liked to go, but I was really close to going there, and it was a place that I also think I would have been happy at.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's an interesting pick for sure, and good pick. Here, one more question for you. That's not a plead the fifth. It's just out of curiosity for myself, and I think the fans. What is your best position? Is it as a winger? Is it as a number 9, as a striker? What's your best position in your eyes?
That could have been a plead the fifth, because I might have chosen to like
plead the fifth. It's just your opinion. It doesn't mean that you're not willing to play.
I think I'm my best as a striker.
As a 9.
Like it's I played 2 games as a 9 last year. I scored twice against Seattle, and against the Galaxy I tore the game up. Like I think it was my best game of the year last year, was the game against Zlatan that I got the jersey. Like drew fouls, was causing trouble, drew the PK, which everybody says I dove, but I didn't. There was contact. And so yeah, I mean I striker for sure. Nice. I don't mind playing other positions. Obviously, I know that that's a part of the game and part of, you just got drafted from college. You're not going to pick where you play. So, but yeah.
Maybe someday though, bros. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Even Wondolowski has played in different positions, even at an older age. So he could teach you that.
Yeah,
too.
I'll never complain. I'm never going to complain about, oh my God, I'm starting every game as a left winger. Like I would never do that. But
right.
Like
well, now it's our turn to complain, though. So you get to ask me or Sal any question of your choosing. We must answer it. You answered all 5, so your seat is cooling down and ours is warming up. Go ahead. What do you got for us? I'm assuming it's going to be for me.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I thought about many questions, and I don't like know what would make you uncomfortable, because you talk about everything with such like ease.
Nah, dude. But plenty of things make me uncomfortable. I just have.
Okay, I just want you. I'm not gonna tell you any 3 players. I just want you to tell me. And this can't be like a sugarcoat. Like,
that's the question already, dude. The question
is like, who are the 3 worst players you've ever played with in MLS? And it can't just be like, this academy kid that came up and trained with us for a month.
No, I got it. Okay, let me think.
And I feel like I already know which is the one you're gonna say.
So no, well, so here, like it's.
But worst players
I can tell
you
you easy,
like quality. They're just bad.
So in terms of, there's some players that I played with in New England 7-8 years ago that most people won't remember. That were terrible.
Okay, so can I rephrase the question?
Yeah.
Who do you think is like the 3 most overplayed players in the MLS?
No, let me just answer the first one. I'll give you some answers that you'll like. So in Colorado, there were a couple, and I could say right off the bat, Axel Schuberg is one, and it's not even close. Like, I mean, he's just he isn't meant to play soccer. That's a problem, right? He's he's a guy that is tall, uncoordinated, lanky. He doesn't have like the feeling for
He's
the
an MLS
game.
best 11, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy. He was in for Defender of the Year one year. So
yeah,
I mean, who am I to say anything, right? But Axel is he's just, to me, he's not even a soccer player. But anyways, he's up there. Man, I mean, I didn't like Tommy, but I don't think I'd put him in the bottom 3 of me ever playing. I mean, he was terrible while I was there. He improved after Lawless came into the team, but he was terrible when I was there. So
you don't need to name more than 4, dude. Just
no, it's 3.
more
it's
than 3. Yeah, I know.
So it was only Axel.
It's only Axel so far.
Okay.
And yeah, if you want to say overpaid players, maybe like they suck, but they are, because then people will know who they are actually. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to an old timer, and I feel bad for this guy because he's such a cool dude, but not a cool dude, but just a nice dude. Zach Boggs, if anybody remembers, was like, he played with me in New England. He was a winger, right winger. No, just one of the smartest people I've ever played with. I think he like had like legitimately like some kind of like genius IQ, and he did like some stuff off the field with like MBAs or like PhDs or anything and stuff like that. Terrible soccer player. All he did was get the ball and try and cross it from anywhere that he got the ball. So Zach Boggs is in there. So Zach Boggs, Axel Schuberg, and one more. I'll put Tommy Smith in the bronze there.
Come on.
Tommy Smith in the bronze. I mean, he deserved it. For the 12 games that I was there, he was up there. He improved after I left.
I'm gonna call a little bit of BS on that, just because.
Is there someone I'm missing?
No, because you also had personal problems with Tommy.
Dude, I don't have any personal problems with Tommy. No chance. I yelled at him because he sucked at defending one time in practice, and he yelled back at me. I mean, like, it is what it is, but like, I have no personal problems with him.
Okay, I was kind of expecting to.
He was a bit of a kiss ass. I will say that he was a bit of a kiss ass.
I just thought you were gonna like maybe say like some other people from other teams. I wasn't expecting.
There wasn't really. I mean, I'm trying to think. In Kansas City, LAFC, there wasn't anybody bad that I can think of. In Kansas City, is there anybody bad in Kansas City? I was there for 5 years. It's hard to like think. So I'm gonna stick with Tommy Smith. If I rethink of it, then I'll
just
say
tweet
it in the
out.
next episode.
Just tag him in a tweet, Benny. Just tag him in a tweet.
It's okay. I think they were good enough answers. I'll accept it.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, Andre. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Andre.
I've been a fan of you since I met you, and I'm gonna forever watch you and hope that you continue your career in the way that it's going. And I hope Colorado, like you said, makes the playoffs this year.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Commerce City deserves it.
Yeah.
They do. They do. They need something to
good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice talking.
We got to go because Sal's kids are
they're already
taking over the room over there.
Yeah.
All right, Andre. Have a good one. We really appreciate it,
Take
bro.
care.
Yeah.
And that's Andre Shinyashiki. Thanks so much for coming on the show. That was fun, dude. I mean, this he's a young kid, but he's a good talker. And let's remember, English is not his first language. So I don't know. It was a lot of fun hearing from him today.
Yeah, he was a really fun person to get to know. I never met him before, didn't know much about him, but kind of had an interesting life and has found success early in his MLS career. So good luck to him. I hope he keeps it going.
Yeah, I think, I knew him for, like I said, a short time over there in Colorado, so I didn't get to know everything. And so a lot of those questions that I asked him today, especially about coming from Brazil, his high school days, and then college days, I didn't know too much about him in that part of his life. So I thought it was really interesting. And to keep with the things that we hear on a regular basis, a lot of guys go through times where like, man, I don't know if this is going to pan out, if they're going to keep playing, if they're not. And so, just it's just funny to me, how many of those guys make it and are never sure if they're actually going to go pro or not, and how successful they'll be.
Yeah, it's very rare where, you don't kind of hit that point in your career and everything's just kind of going up, 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 up. I think there's always that setback early on where you kind of question if you're doing it. But it seems like that's been the reoccurring theme. It's pretty interesting to because I never really thought about that. But the more I hear it through almost every single player, it's been eye-opening.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, one other thing that I wanted to mention that I just thought of right here, he asked me the question, right, Sal, about the 3 worst players, and I thought of someone right now that would fit pretty well. I don't know if he's actually one of the worst players, and it's kind of a cop-out because he's a goalie, but I will give you one Kansas City player. Luis Marin was not a good goalie. We brought him in from Chile as like the replacement for Jimmy Nielsen. I think Jimmy Nielsen actually helped us bring him over here. And he was pretty nothing short of a disaster. And
what? Okay.
Thankfully, we had Tim Melia as the backup that year, and he quickly became the starter. And Luis Marin was back in Chile after not even 6 months in Kansas City. So he was he was a big disappointment. So I'll throw him in there. I'll take Tommy Smith out of the bottom 3. He's not my favorite player, but I don't think he deserves to be in the bottom 3. So I'll add Luis Marin in there for all you Sporting Kansas City folks. I just wanted to correct myself on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. If there's any other people that you don't like, which I'm sure they'll come out at some point, you can just keep throwing them in the outro. So it's all right.
That's right. All right. Well, for all of you guys that actually listen to the outro, you got a little extra news there. And I think that's all we got for today. Like we mentioned, please rate, comment, especially if you're a big time fan. Anything that can help the pod, we are eternally grateful for you guys.
Yeah, that stuff really helps us out on Apple, on iTunes and all that stuff. So yeah, if you guys have a second out of your day, just write something nice or write something mean, whatever you feel. It helps us.
All news is good news, as they say. Yeah. So we appreciate it, and thanks for stopping it. Thanks for stopping by. No, dude, I just listened to the Colin Coward. That's why I just said thanks for stopping by. What do I usually say? Thanks for showing up today, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.